They also recently released I think barrel aged like Prairie Oaky or something. Hey, I'm Adam.
I'm Bryan. Back
with another episode of Buds and Suds, and tonight we have one of the founders' backstage series, Lizard of Cause. This 10.5% ABV beer is brewed with blueberries, chocolate, vanilla, and aged in bourbon barrels.
Sounds good.
And so, yeah, we've been drinking a little bit, but that was a little bit more than the slurring I would normally.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, exactly. I just had a lot to say there. But anyway, this has gotten predominantly, as you guys probably know, negative reviews. But a few people think it's okay. So we wanted to get it out there, see what we think. I've had this before. Bryan has not. And so take that into account when reviewing this.
It pours a little thin, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it's still
pretty
super dark.
Freaking dark, and has it's
Decent
10
head.
holds 10.5% holds there. So let's get the aroma.
All right. I get
Pretty roasty.
Roasty up front.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I get. I don't get blueberries. I don't get chocolate.
I mean, as I dig in, maybe if I dig in, I can get some blueberries, some
now,
fruitiness.
You've had this. Is that the aroma when you first tried it?
Okay. I don't remember.
Because, I mean, that's almost disappointing. I mean, I want some blueberry nose and I want some bourbon barrel.
So, yeah, you should get the bourbon barrel, vanilla.
Yeah, I want some of that. I get none of that.
I get a hint of this, what I would call blueberry raspberry, this kind of little tart fruit aroma.
I get that. I'm starting to get something like that. So I get that from.
But I'm not getting much vanilla. I'm not getting bourbon character.
I get
the
no
roastiness
vanilla.
is hard to get through, but you kind of get it as you get into it.
Yeah, I get something that's kind of sweet. Cheers.
Right. Cheers, everyone.
Ooh, that's creamier than I expected. Ooh, that is sweet. Whew. You weren't kidding. That's sweet. Wow. Get out your glucometer for this one.
And this big tart blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sweet on the front, and then this like blueberry cobbler tartness on the back.
Yeah, which is I like. I mean, that's good. I like that. I'm getting some more roastiness on the back end. But that's sweet.
So sweet. And maybe with the sweetness, you can get some of the vanilla. Maybe it's just a big, tsunami wave of sweetness.
Ooh.
And then on the back, it's all tart fruit. It's like this blueberry, what you think of blueberry raspberry tart? I mean, obviously I know it's blueberries, but it's those fruits that you're thinking of on the back.
I think I could tell. I mean, if you
cherries.
gave this to me blind, there's no way that I would call this raspberry. I would say yes, tartness, but it tastes blueberry.
Yeah.
I mean, you get blueberry out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't really get vanilla. I don't know if that's the sweetness.
I was just mentioning it as part of the sweetness. I don't get a distinct vanilla flavor, and I agree with you.
But I mean, I get blueberry. It still tastes like a stout. I mean, I get some roastiness on the back end.
But not what the nose was. It's all this like soup. And chocolate. What about chocolate?
I don't know.
Maybe along with the roastiness? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
And on the back, to me, it's almost overwhelming blueberry. Like just sitting here.
Is it overwhelming sweetness or is
Well,
it
it's
blueberry?
sweet on the front, but I think it's the tart blueberry that
Is
is
it?
a little off-putting for
Okay.
me. I don't mind the sweetness as much as I do this lingering berry tartness. But I like sweet things over tarts. I mean, we've had this discussion before. Like, that's just a preference of mine.
So the initial sip seemed thicker to me than just what it looks like when you swirl it in the glass.
Like the initial sip for me is not that bad. It's okay. I mean, it's the more I'm drinking it, I'm getting used to that sweetness and everything. I think it's just this lingering tartness. And I'm just not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, it almost makes you think infection, because we've had some stouts that, I mean, this isn't infected, I don't think. It's just, this was what they were going for. But like the Black Tuesday, or the So Happens It's Tuesday. That one, it had that tartness, more tartness than this, and that kind of cherry tartness. And So is it that with you? Is it making you think that I get that tartness, which I don't like in a stout, or is it more of just I don't like?
It's not balanced for me.
Okay.
It's overwhelming tartness for me. Like I just sat and let it sit in my mouth for a second. Wasn't pleasant. It's just overwhelming tartness to me. I mean, again, this is sweet. I mean, it's funny to say, sweet and sour. It's very sweet going down. I mean, sugary sweet, and then it's just this. I mean, I don't know. I don't like that flavor. I don't.
See, blueberries that's one of my favorite fruits. I love blueberries.
So you're probably enjoying this.
So I would give this a 4.
Okay.
I know it gets a lower than that, and I know people complain about it, but I'd give it a 4. This is probably the only bottle I buy.
Okay. So I will say
it's decent
for my rating. So I was picking a friend from the airport, Double G, who you've seen on our show, and I was at a bar there, and the only craft beer they had, the only non-local craft beer they had was Lizard of Cause, and I chose a St. Adam's Lager.
Oh,
I did.
You're killing me.
I did. I couldn't drink that. I'd had it before, and I just couldn't do it. Okay. And so for me, would I recommend it to a friend would be with an asterisk. You love blueberry.
Try it once.
So it's kind of like a 3.5, 3.75 for me, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
It is. I just I don't dig that flavor. I just don't. I like sweet stouts, but I think it's the tartness. So we'll just go right in the mid, like 3.67. I'll go 3.67.
See, I almost want to go down to 3.75 just because of the nose. I mean, I get no blueberry at all.
You don't have to knock it down. You like?
Well, but I get nothing out of the nose.
Well, no, it was roasty. Yeah.
And nothing else.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, how often have we had such a disconnect between the aroma and the flavor? Like, usually, I mean, they're so intimately connected that whatever you smell is part of what you're tasting. This is very disconnected for me. It's
and that makes me want to knock another.
It's just a hint of blueberry, but it's mostly like kind of this roasty, the roasted stout, which I don't mind the aroma. The aroma for me is like a 4. So it's just that the big blueberry lingering tartness. And it's not well balanced. It's sweet and a little bit of vanilla, and then this big. I just like it to be a better integrated beer. It's just not my favorite beer, so I'm gonna go 3.67.
Well, I think I've talked myself into knocking it just a bit more because of the nose. I think if the nose had any blueberry, any bourbon at all, I think I'd stay at a 4. But it's hard to do that when the nose just says roastiness and maybe a little bit of sweetness. So I'm gonna knock it down to 3.75 just because of that. But the flavor, I mean, the taste to me is a 4. I love blueberries. The tartness doesn't bother me at all. It tastes like a stout. It's got a creamy mouthfeel for a stout, even though it looks like it's thin.
Fair enough.
But because of the nose, it's just.
And I think these are the kind of opinions I've seen out there. Like, love the blueberry. This is great, and giving it. I mean, no one's giving it crazy numbers, but 4 or something. And then someone's like, "Holy crap, too sweet, too blueberry," and then giving it a 3 or something. And so I think kind of the conversation we've had is basically the conversation that's going on out there. So I think it's worth. I mean, it was intriguing. I mean, you guys probably should try the beer, see what you think. You may enjoy it more than I do, more or the same as Bryan, or maybe better. But it's make sure you don't. The bottle, I mean, it was like $20 for
It wasn't super cheap either.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's a big beer. I mean, it's a sipper. First of all, I couldn't finish that by myself. No way.
I think I might have drank a whole bottle of it, honestly.
You didn't drain pour it?
No, I mean, like I said, it's not like a 3.25, or it's not a 3. I mean, it was just one of these things, like, you just have these expectations, and it's a 3.67 is not like a drain pour for me. It's not, It's just, I'm a stout nut, and it doesn't meet what I really wanted out of this beer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that it's false advertising, but come on, brewed with blueberries, chocolate, and vanilla, aged in bourbon barrels, and all I get is blueberries and sweetness.
Yeah.
I don't know, 3.75. That's a fair rating.
I think it is, and I'll go 3.67, which is not a drain pour. It's not a having a vomit in my mouth. It's just I'm hesitant to recommend it unless I will give them the asterisk, the preface it with this. And like I said, I didn't get an extra, pour when I could have had it. I would,
It went with Sam Adams Lager.
I'm just telling you, like, I didn't want this. I can't lie. I had to drink something. I was waiting. I had like a half an hour, 45 minutes to kill, and I wasn't,
Right.
you know.
I don't know, half an hour. I mean, that's enough for a couple beers.
No, it was, you know, I just had one, but I had to drive home. Anything else?
No.
As always, if you can't have the beer you love the beer you have. Thanks.